Okay. I think we're live. The only question now is the mic volume set up for any of this shit to work? Like, are we hanging out in a place where everybody can hear me? I know I've seen a couple comments recently that the mic volume that looks way too fucking loud. How about that? Is that better? This looks like the sweet spot to me. No, it still says red. We're gonna take it down a little bit more. What's up, Troper? Spellbreaker, I'm glad you loved the Sanderson video. I really liked it. Beppis Boy, thank you for that sign off. I really liked it. I also liked that there were a number of people who just took it way too fucking deep. But I am very glad that you appreciated it. I think some people took it, like, I tried to... I'm sorry, Ashes and Leaves. Did you just say, what's up, Maldy, the hot future Baldy? Is that what you just fucking said to me? I mean, thanks? I think? Thank you, I think. Because you're not wrong, right? Like, everything that is done with my hair is merely a delaying tactic until I am either jacked enough to shave my head or rich enough to find who did Steve Carell's hair plugs. Those are the only two outcomes. And everything else that happens with my hair, is just buying time until one of those two things happens. Troper, I already use Keeps. The thing with Keeps is that whenever you start using it, it is right, it's to stop you from losing more. And my hairline is already receded as fuck. And so Keeps is really just like, it's not getting any worse, but it already looks a little bit ridiculous. It already looks a little bit silly. And so we really are just, we're kind of playing around until I have the traps to support the J. Jonah Johnson no hair look. Or not Johnson, Jameson. Who's the actor? J.K. Simmons. Until I have the traps for the J.K. Simmons look, or until I have the money for Steve Carell's guy. Secret third option, estrogen. Won't I just be bald with boobies? Like, Phalanx, I respect the bit, and I respect the hustle, I guess. I don't think it's... it grows hair? But I feel like it'll be in the same place as... sort of like Keeps or Rogaine, where you don't really it ends male pattern baldness. That's crazy. La Lilu Lelo, thank you for the 4 months in a row at tier 1. Welcome back to the dog home. I appreciate that sub, my friend. Thank you. Estrogen would reverse the hair loss, yeah. Horrible. No, I would much sooner, if I was going to take hormone altering medications, I would much sooner just take testosterone and get jacked and be bald. Unfortunately for all of you who saw the Catgirl streams and are waiting anxiously for the Femboy Mauled streams, when you bring up hormone alteration, what I am considering is for sure right, Spellbreaker, that's what I'm saying, is if testosterone will make the hair loss happen quicker, but it will also make me more muscular, and being bald and muscular is, I think, a look that I could pull off. It's being slight and bald that I don't want to do. Like, I don't want to be like Anthony Fantano bald. I want to look, if I'm going to be bald, I want to at least look imposing. Now go full gray alien. Jesus. Grow out your beard, then shave your head. That's a good idea. I've certainly been letting the scruff go. I've certainly been letting the scruff go a little bit longer than normal. Why is Mr. Fantano catching a stray? Listen, man, I like his work. I'm just saying, bro. That's the worst beard I've seen since Sidney Crosby tried to grow in for the playoffs. I mean, this is what I have right now is not a beard. What I have right now is I've been lazy for a couple days. Oh, Baldhound's coming. Baldhound was in my mind the second I locked in Maldhound. Because the whole reason I picked Maldhound is because my hairline was receding. And so, as soon as I locked it in, I was like, that's not a hard transition. Yeah, what I have is wow, I really should shave. But if I start taking testosterone and I just don't stream for like 2 months while this grows out, then I have a beard. That's where we're at right now. And Siren, we're going to open with your deck very soon because I know that we are moving you up to the front to adapt for your schedule. Damn, Mauled out here playing 5D chess with his internet personality. It's schemes within schemes, bro. Lalo, for next month, I would vote for a meme deck. Also, if you have a different personal question, hit me with it. I mean, IDK, what's so difficult about growing a beard? That shit's kind of easy. ... Brown person. So true. So true. That's also why I've made so many memes. That's also why I've made such a cornerstone of my platform hating on the bald, so that I can do a big reveal video when I eventually shave my head. I've got like 10-year plans with this, you guys. I've got bits set up that aren't going to come to fruition until the 2040s. Prince of Foxes, thank you very much for gifting a tier 1 Twitch sub. Welcome to Dog Heaven, my friend. Outer Zevin, you are scheduled today. You're going second. But yeah, like I've been dropping all this shade on Karn and Teferi, knowing that I would become them. Best person on Twitch, what's up, my friend? A donation to the Save Mald's Hair Fund. Where's the list for today? Let me send it in. And then Siren, you don't worry your pretty little head. You are first. This is just the list with you excised from it. No, Ashes and Leaves, you're good. Major Spectre TV, thank you for donating to the Save Malltown's Hair Fund. Welcome back to the dog home, my friend, for 2 months. I appreciate your generosity very much. Alright, we're going to get into the decks for today. So, to anybody that doesn't know how this process works, you send in a list, a power level, and a primer. We do not accept 1 through 10 because numbers are fucking made up. The primer should represent what you think the deck does or what you hope the deck will one day be. You can also tell me in the primer whether you want me to actually go hard on it or if you just want a little help. You also give me the deck's vibe in 1 word. And so opening today is going to be Siren's deck, which is scary, the top end. This deck tries to act like, ooh woo, I'm a little goth girl, while it uses really bad cards to fuel a commander that draws draws cards, finds lands, threatens damage, and board wipes. Built this deck to go toe-to-toe with really high power decks. I want to see if it's working, switching stuff out for mana positive rocks and better interaction to take this up to CEDH. Okay, so I'm with your general idea. I'm weak, you see. Thank you for the 100-bit cheer. Kellen's big titty goth vampire nerd GF and her weird cat Oka would be proud. Turns out the entire Agatha's combo is less than 2 CMC. So with your primer, a deck that is built to little bean at high power tables while still going toe to toe with high power decks, and a deck that is built to be even fringe CEDH are operating in entirely different realms. I have a short video about this, but the arc of how the skill and skill expression goes as you approach CEDH is like basketball, where first you need to have dribbling down, then you need to have some basic shooting, then you need to know how to interact with the other players, you need to work on your jump shot, and then when you try to go to CEDH, it is about your Shunpo, your Rasengan. I want to see a goddamn Bankai. Nothing you tell me about I'm using these bad cards with a good commander to keep up with the high power decks is even a little bit applicable to I want to take this up to CEDH. Taking it up to CEDH typically requires a full scale look at me now style makeover, because you're just going to be 87 combos in a trench coat that your deck somewhat supports. And so with that in mind, let's look at what you have. Cool, ad nauseum. This is not... What did we say? Well, it uses really bad cards. Gotcha. Yeah, this is what I think of. Yeah, classic, really bad card. Esper Sentinel Francisco, Grand Abolisher. That's right on the... Hey, that's right on the money what I think of when I'm like, wow, bad cards that are barely able to keep up with the high power decks. Yeah, approach this. Okay, so this is a CEDH hopeful list. Let's start with that. If we're doing... Wait, Jeweled Lotus? Jeweled Lotus is... Oh my fucking god. Literally just for when it gets removed. Okay, so it is scary. Let's say this. The power level is scary. Amalia's definitely... Let's all be so fucking for real. This is gonna get used because Amalia is getting murdered. This is not a dead card. They're going to cast Amalia, and she's going to get shot in the fucking chest because nobody cares about Ward 3 in a format where your opponents collectively have 120 life. You're going to be able to crack this for 3 of one color and have it feel good as you cast your commander for the 4th time. That said, your statement that it's scary is totally accurate. Your primer, we can take out everything that says everything other than the words working to take this up to CEDH. That is the only bit of the primer. That's what we need. The rest of it, the bad cards, are the life gain cards. Okay, so let's count those up. There's Leon and Elder. Soul Warden, Soul's Attendant, Spectrum Sentinel, Vizkopa Guildmage, Authority of the Consuls, we're up to 6. Blind Obedience is just a stacks piece. Felidar Umbra, Ruin of Sustenance. So we're at 8. So we have 8 life gain cards. And so this is really... this is really... Knightsy, I didn't check tags. Thank you for calling me out. But this is really like... This is a CEDH list, and the question is... How many pet cards can I fit into this CEDH hopeful list? And I would tell you... The answer is, I don't fucking know. Probably not this many. I have no clue, but I'm guessing your goal, since you're something referent, yeah, the entire Agatha's combo. So you're trying to do the Agatha's Soul Cauldron combo. Like, for the most part, this just says, this is, I would like to win. And then how many of these 8 cards can I keep and still win? And that is something you can only learn through practice. Like, you're trying to troll people. I'm weak, you see, you are correct that like the because here's the point we're at. You have 92. Amalia is here to vomit my cards into yard for Luris. So if she's just here for that mechanical purpose, you can very easily overcome that by still running Luris and just running good Grave Tutors, and you could just like put Mesmeric Orb and shit into the deck. If you have an emotional attachment to running Amalia, then we can really dig into that. But if you don't have an emotional attachment to Goth Vampire Nerd Mommy, there's not a lot we can work with. If you want them to be like, if you want the CEDH players mad because they lost to an Amalia deck, true, I get you. I'm with that. These goofy ass, a lot of these cards just don't work, and you honestly probably would want to be on, I think you would want to be on a stacks list and try to beat people to death with Amalia. Like what you just have this is Orzhov combo with somebody in the command zone that doesn't matter because you're running a Luris combo list. Right? You are running mono black turbo combo with a couple white pieces because they relate to Amalia, and so this is immediately we got multiple decks in a trench coat. Your primer says, I want my Goth Vampire Mommy to take these people out into the alley and get them. And what the deck does is a big black cat. So the Cheshire Cat on methamphetamines teleports behind you and rips your head off. But if you do anything to Luris, the CEDH part of this deck falls apart. And if you want to have a really high power Amalia list that truly cares about Amalia, you need to, or in my estimation, you should switch over to Hate Bears and as much lifelink as possible. And all your deck should be entirely committed to locking other people out of doing their high power wins while you grow a lethal Amalia. And presumably protect her somehow. It's going to be a lot worse than this list because it seems like you found, as you tried to bring it up to CEDH, holy hell, is Amalia not a CEDH commander, or not a great option for one. Sante5, thank you for the Prime sub. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. Havard, thank you for the well wishes. Monarch Man, to submit these decks, you can use the Patreon link that I'm WeakUC pulled up for you. They don't have to be any power level. You tell me when you submit them, and I try to gauge whether or not this is accurate. Could also switch it a little to, you must pay the goth mommy tax. We could totally do that. We could totally have, like, Kellen's big titty goth vampire nerd GF is only tangentially related to what the deck is actually doing, and I think you have just a build weirdo list for CEDH, things like this in Gyruda combo. So I mean, really, I think there's a lot of there's a fair enough number of specific differences, but in terms of this being a weirdo list, this does not look like a weirdo list to me. This looks like stock Lurrus, take out 10 cards, take Lurrus out of the command zone, call it Fringe. And it's true in the same way that I could be a weirdo car mechanic if I bought a Lamborghini and then broke one of the axles off. That is what I am getting from this is my funky off meta deck. Is we've bought a Lamborghini and then we've let Dirty Mike and the boys have an orgy in it, and we're saying, all right, now that it's not a fresh off the lot stock Lamborghini, it's funky. And so I think I don't doubt that it's still functional because you have so many of these good mana producers, and because you have tutors, and because you have interaction. It's clearly worse than, I think it's almost certainly worse than just running stock Lurrus. And from a perspective of making it work up to CEDH, it's tough for me to give you a lot of guidance because this seems so clearly to me like two different decks standing next to each other, not speaking, but they're handcuffed together. And and from a mechanical perspective, that's tough to fix. That's tough to fix. Shay Cormac also seems very much like a trauma response to other people's hexproof stuff, and with the list you have right now is a turbo list. We can talk about we can talk about Amalia filling the grave and getting you lands and getting cards into the graveyard for this Lurrus combo. But it seems to me like what this deck wants to do is draw Dark Ritual. Where's the 3 mana Entomb? Either hit Entomb Um, or like get Ripples of Undeath and just look for the Agatha's Soul Cauldron. And everything else is to... So we've got a Manic Pixie Dream deck. We've got a Manic Pixie Dream deck happening here where it's very close to a stock list, and then 10 cards got changed. It seems like almost for the sake of changing them. I think if you want to make some weirdo CEDH shit, like, to me that means getting real weird with it. And I think you can do... I think there's space for Amalia to do some real weird stuff with respect to being stacks beatdown, almost like how Winota does. It would be worse than Winota, but doing some type of like Abzan stacks minus green, which again, kind of bad, but you could at least try it. And then you should just have a Lurrus list, because it seems like you like Lurrus based on the 92 Lurrus cards. Raven, it's going okay. Ashes and Leaves. Shouldn't they be running Mana Tithe, or is that not an auto-include in CEDH White? The chance that they're going to fully tap out for their game-winning combo is narrow enough that it's probably either dead or useless more often than not. You would rather have a 1 or 2 mana permanent stacks piece that you can put down that you hope interrupts the combo instead. Like, rather than holding up your mana to hit them with that, you would rather just drop a stacks piece, which we don't really have any. Oh, it hits mana acceleration. That's true. I mean, it's not useless, but I'm not saying it's useless. I'm just saying it's not. It's more often dead than not. What about land tax, Smothering Tithe? I think the Smothering Tithe isn't in here just because of Lurrus. I'm not sure about Smothering Tithe at CEDH. I feel like maybe some mid-range decks would want it, but for the most part, I mean, everyone runs Rhystic Study. Lil Lemon, yeah, we'll put you last. Thank you for calling that out. Land tax, definitely too slow, I think, and people mostly are not running enough basics for land tax to really give you too much. Like, you do land tax in a you put land tax in a CEDH deck, you are getting 2 basics off the first trigger, and then you are cooked. Land tax is plains cards? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You may search your library for up to 3 basic land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. Mods, take Joe Salsa to the Only Tell the Truth chamber and instruct them to stay there for the next 30 years. So, Siren, I'm going to leave you with this. I love the energy. I don't think this is a list that has Kellen's Big Titty Goth Vampire Nerd GF energy. I think it's just, this is her weird cat and 7 cards for her. And so I think this is a go back to the drawing board, see what it is you actually like about Amalia, and then probably play Hate Bears, realize you need green, and switch to Tyam. But I think you could get a very good high-power Amalia list out of it. We are going to move on to Outer Zevin's spooky deck. Goal is to value the fuck out of my opponents with Rocco's seemingly symmetrical effect, I guess. So let's talk about goals, people. Let him cook. That's a good deck name. Let's talk about goals. And let's return to the PowerPoint slide. Decks that are beyond criticism. Boy, howdy, these arts are cool. This is typically the Kalia players. Boy howdy, these are some good combos. This is where I think this deck is going to be. If you submit a deck to me with the gimmick... Oh, you switched after? Do we have a... Is this the correct list, or do you have a different list you want me working from? Alright, let me pull that up. Oh my god. I cannot find anything from your email, so give me a moment. Zevin, would you be able to tell me when you sent that email? Just had this realization yesterday, but you radiate Jerema energy compliment. I've never watched Jerema's content, but most people have compared me favorably as like a Walmart version of him, so that's pretty cool. Monarch Man, so boy howdy Eldrazi is fine. So beyond criticism doesn't mean good. Beyond criticism means there's nothing meaningful to engage with because it is either completely subjective or completely objective. It's part of the reason why roasting a CEDH deck is relatively underwhelming, because the point of a CEDH deck is these are the best cards. These are the best cards you could play. And in fact, yes, you've done that. Do I think it's cool? No, but if the point's not to be cool and the point is just to play the best cards possible, then you have in fact achieved that goal, and there's nothing I can say about it. Okay. All right, Zevin. Shilgengar. Oh, I found it. It came from... yeah, it just came from a different email than we were signed up with, but I have it, and so now we're going to do it. Alright, a while back, I was dating a girl, and I planned to build her a high-power Giada Angel Kindred deck, but in the process of buying those cards, I found out she had another boyfriend and a husband. So this deck is my way of using those angels in a way that will let me trap them in a tormented cycle of death and rebirth while I drain them of their blood. I'm not bitter. Why do you ask? Okay. But seriously, I fell in love with Shilgengar during preview season and have wanted to brew an Aristocrats build around him for a while. The list is still early goings, but I think it's getting there. This is my first Aristocrats list, so I'm happy to get some suggestions. P.S. Me and my ex's other boyfriend are friends now. Pretty cool guy, even though he plays Mill. True story. Holy God. This is the only good reason I've ever heard to play Angels. That's the first one. Every other, yeah, therapy right now. Also, you get the Angel Pass. No one else. Alright, so Shilgengar, if you sacrifice an Angel, you get to make a shitload of blood tokens. And by sacrificing a bunch of blood tokens, you get to do Rise of the Dark Realms, but with finality counters. 30. Okay. MDFC's 35 lands. So it's our first aristocrats list. We want to. All right, let me call out where I think the mistakes are going to be. If our primary payoff is mass reanimation, we probably want to be milling ourselves more than we want to be aristocrating, and the aristocrating is really just to get those 6 blood tokens. So do we have mill artifacts? Hell no. We can sacrifice artifacts though. We have another creature trigger. I'm weak, you see. Thank you for the tags. All right, so we have 16 angels. That's reasonable. I think you're falling into some traps here. All of them bad as hell. That's pretty sick, though. Gunblade user, thank you for the rec. So the 16 isn't reasonable for Shilly IMO. You want more to sack. What I was going to bring up is I think we're missing stuff to make them big enough for the sacking to be worthwhile. Like if you're playing angels, like sacking inspiring overseer to draw 1 card and get 1 blood token, IMO probably not worth it. We only have 15 angels. What? Oh, Amalia's call. I do think you could bring them up a little bit more. So we have Ristic Buddy. So hold on. We have fucking Metalcraft. We have goddamn... Why is Fomori Vault in here with... Oh, blood tokens. Right, okay. So if we have a lot of blood tokens, we can... this isn't even draw. This is just card selection. Haruspex is draw. Reaper's draw. Pitiless Carnage is draw. This is the best card draw in the entire game for white-black. Solemn Simulacrum's relatively weak. Spymaster's Vault is great. Counter Management. I like all of this. This is good. You'll certainly need to tutor or dig for one of these, but yeah, we want to be cheating. Death triggers. IMO, this is where I think this is where we're starting to split our focus a little bit too much. Like, I think and also, quite frankly, a lot of your reanimation targets suck. The reason Shilgengar is 21 cents is because he is in fact dog shit. And the stuff you want to reanimate is for mass reanimation. And the reason you need to do mass reanimation is because most of these individual angels are absolute trash. Like, you could turn 1, reanimate Firja, Judge of Valor. Nobody's going to give a shit. You could turn 1, reanimate Guardian of Girapur. Nobody's going to give a goddamn fuck. And so I don't think it is worth running things like animate dead or reanimate or even victimize, because getting these back as one-offs is like, the green players are laughing at you, my friend. Like, you're doing all of this work to cheat back out things that are going to trade even with mono green 2-drops. And we can't be having that. The situation that works out well for us is we set up Angel of Suffering. We get like half the cards in our deck. Into the grave. Then we reanimate them. And then you play, or you hopefully reanimate Thief of Blood as you do all that. And so what we want for that, like, Firja, Judge of Valor, useful because it gets stuff into the graveyard. I think Karmic Guide, what this says is like, it does not make enough blood tokens. I don't think you want... this one-off recursion to happen. Sure, Krark Clan, Ironworks for your blood. Wow, we really are smoking crack on some of this ramp, aren't we? And then we've got Smothering Tithe, right? And so there's a couple... I think right now this deck lives and dies off of, did I draw Rhystic Buddy and Smothering Tithe and Soul Ring to just stabilize everything I'm doing? I think you should be on Angel Go Wide Beatdown and with a side of Self-Mill. And then eventually, after you have beaten people down pretty hard, you use Shilgengar for mass reanimation. But this is... you know, you came with some I like big butts and I cannot lie. And as the other brother, I am going to deny. Very few of these feel great to sacrifice. If you don't want to have any gimmick that's more particular than... I mean, here, Zevin, let's have a moment, just you and me. Are we processing trauma here? Or are we playing Magic the Gathering? Because if we want to do some sacrifice loops, some reanimation loops, to keep these angels in a tormented cycle of death and rebirth, we can make that happen. Shilgengar, not your guy. He's just not. Shilgengar is here for big army raising. And a good payoff for big army raising is to beat people to death with the army, not give them a little paper cut. The life gain stuff, get this shit immediately out of here. Spectre, it's clear to me that the original build from the deck is processing trauma, but have you brought it to me playing Shilgengar is the goal? Alright, if playing Shilgengar is the goal, as has been brought up in chat multiple times, this is the point where, or this is the type of deck where Changeling Lords are going to be incredibly... What? Changeling's not a type? That's crazy. Okay, it's like that. This is going to be a situation where the Changeling Lords, like Bloodline Pretender, are very useful for you because you need their stat lines to be big, both for Shilgengar's gimmick and for the gimmick of them being able to fight just a little bit. And so we probably want that guy. Wow, there's a lot more changelings than I thought. I really thought they were a lot worse than this. Mirror entity honestly wouldn't be bad, because if you just dump a little bit of mana into this, you get the game off. Zevin, I'll tell you, I'm typically not a fan of using I am typically not a fan of using changelings. This is a very, very difficult to make work bit. And then adaptive automaton. So you don't have to add all of these adaptive. But right now we're working in the wrong direction. And we want to, and this is just, these are examples of things that will work you in the right direction. Like Giada Font of Hope is good. Other things we need to be good. Let's look at just other Lord effects. If there's any angel specific ones. Lyra Dawnbringer. That would be a good angel. And then we'll go white creatures you control. Depending on how many white-black angels you have, so that's 1, 2, 3. I don't think this is half bad. Half bad as a lord. I'll be real, the deck was originally more a go-wide strategy, and it very gradually became trying to loop for aristocrat stuff. Okay, so in that case, I mean, for aristocrat stuff, here's the hot pickup. Shilgengar's bad. Boom, roasted. And so if we want to do Shilgengar aristocrat loops, like the thing about this man is that he don't fucking loop. He's a sack outlet which can loop with other recursion, but his recursion is very, very focused on one specific thing. I'm not married to the aristocrats, that's just where I ended up. Siren, we already have Thief of Blood in the deck. And so personally, I would dump this aristocrat bullshit. Shilgengar may be on a throne, but he is about the hands and wings and ripping them off. And so I would get rid of this the aristocrat angle and just put in either board buffs or other ways to mill yourself. This one will be playable. Like Cemetery Tampering is great. Ruthless Technomancer. I don't see why this is a must. I see why Ruthless Technomancer is a must for aristocratic looping, but that is very specifically where we are no longer going, because that is like, that's trying to drive the car down two different roads at once. It makes treasures, it's I. If we want something that it makes treasures, it's I, then just play Lotho. Like I don't think we want. Let's look at the curve. Starts at 3, looks playable. Let's do one playtest. I do not think we want to have other things competing for Shilgengar's sacrifice triggers. I feel like that is going to get us boofed far more often than not. Yes, we have Corval, which I don't think this guy does much for us. We get Shilgengar out, then we get a Plains out. So now we can play Angel of Despair. We can destroy something. We can sacrifice her. If we wanted to be looping, we Vampiric Tutor for like one of our... We Vampiric Tutor for like Victimize. And then we play this, sack it, and then we Victimize these two back out. And you have a cute little loop, but that really just takes advantage of... like you're trying to take advantage of the first half of his text box. And I don't think we're playing to the second half of his text box. And the second half of his text box is going to win us games. If you want to play to the first half, we need to be looking for... You need to go like Marionette Apprentice. There's one other guy that I play in Henzi all the time. Siren, Battle Angels of Tyr for free blood. Well, Battle Angels of Tyr would just be... That's a good strong boy. The Myriad, yeah. So this would be awesome for you, both for sacking the Myriad ones and just getting angel value. That is hot. That is hot, Siren. Yeah. So put this shit in. As Joe Salsa has mentioned, Luminarch Ascension would be very good for you to keep making these 4/4s that matter. I wouldn't do Roaming Throne because it's just more like I don't want us to be putting in. I don't even want us to be putting in changelings, let alone hyper generic goes in every commander deck that has a triggered ability, like Roaming Throne. And so, Zevin, you can make your own moral decision about whether or not you use Roaming Throne. But overall, it's just you're giving up your agency and what the deck looks like in order to double your triggers when you draw it. I would also say, Joe Salsa, no to Maskwood, because our odds of drawing it are so low that if we were going to include Maskwood, we would want to depart from the idea that we're going to have a lot of blood tokens to begin with. Because if we're going to do Maskwood and be like, oh, everything's an angel, then that's when we should just be doing more generic sacrifice stuff. So maybe a better way to frame it for you, Zevin, is if you want to do an Aristocrats commander for Shilgengar, I don't think you should care as much about the angel text. And if we want to have a Shilgengar commander that cares about all of Shilgengar's text, then we want to do angels. You can do these changelings that are going to help make your board wide. I would really suggest any anthems you can get your hands on. Like Ripples of Undeath, pretty good draw. Just mill cards. That is interesting. I would recommend at least... Oh yeah, God, Out of the Tombs. Yeah, Out of the Tombs is pretty good. You would want some way to get rid of it, because otherwise, if you out of the Tombs and then at any point activate your commander, the next time you would draw a card, you just lose the game. Siren, yeah, Lively Dirge is probably good. Lively Dirge is probably okay. It's really just a, like, another Entomb effect. Oh, Discerning Taste. Yeah, this would be very good for you. So the last note we're going to touch on is you do not possess unconditional card draw, except for Inspiring Overseer and Ripples. The rest of it, you need to have a meaningful number of things to sack. You need to have your commander out to do the sacking. You need to have blood tokens. So 9 of your 11 card draw cards require your opponents to do something very specific or require you to do something very specific. And I would highly recommend taking cards like Discerning Taste. There was one other card draw I saw that was like a relatively weak version of it. Atrocious Experiment is a very weak version of this effect. But you do want to have things that say, I'm going to draw a card no matter what. Rowan's Grim Search is being suggested as a better option. You cannot leave things into the hands of your dumbass opponents. You cannot do it. And so as you replace some of your aristocrat stuff, and I would honestly probably replace Inspiring Overseer, you want to have some stuff that says, hey, I spent mana, I get cards. You don't want to have this many, I spent mana, and somebody smacked me on the ass, and I climbed 18 flights of stairs today, and I did 30 jumping jacks, and I ate my broccoli, so now I get to draw a card. You want to have as many things as possible that are just like, boom, spent the mana, nobody countered my 3 mana card draw spell, yummy yummy, I get cardboard in my tummy. And otherwise, we got to get you to stop working for the IRS. We don't want that anymore. Yeah, appointed discussion, draw 2, lose 2, get a blood. Do that. Make it happen. Stop working for the IRS. Simply take your trauma and use it to strike people with angel mommies. We are going to move on to Durge's silly deck. Hello, it's time to give you my final portion of the Trinity of Horny. We all know Magic makes certain characters for people to go auga. This is my meme deck with ones to say in some cases, or with ones that I am in some cases ashamed to say that they, in your own words, can get it. It is only non-mommy-centric cards that are lands and artifact enchantments. I'm never going to build it, just thought it would be a fun time to look through on stream. Please don't judge me. You came to the wrong place. That high guy, thank you for gifting 5 community subs. Welcome to Dog Heaven, my friend. I appreciate that. Mavanger, thank you for looking out for my health with that drink water redeem. And Mallow, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. Now listen. I know the type of videos I make. I know this is coming. How am I to judge you other than to say, keep killing it, buddy? Tazri, hey, that's a great choice. 42 creatures. Now, so I will say, I'm going to playtest this deck. It better be able to play Magic the Gathering, because otherwise you have spent $25 to subject us to a PowerPoint presentation labeled "This is what Durge wants to have Rule 34 of," and I'll do a lot. I'm not sure if I can handle that. Date locations. All right, this tag game is awesome. Yeah. Let's play test not looking at any cards first. Awesome. Is there a single synergy? Not at all. Let's rip some goddamn ramp out. Let's gain a life back. We've got Teysa. So we care about people losing life. All right, combat damage makes people lose life. We have all the fucking shock lands. Elish Norn. Okay, that has to be good. Onyxia. We have basically no enchantments, but we have a whole lot of mommies ready to stab. So Elish Norn swings. Maybe we get a clue. Lightning Greaves, Tazri, Boots. All right, I want everybody to look me in my internet eyeballs. I am activating Tazri's ability. I swear to God, this deck better be able to utilize the commander's ability. No activated ability. It's creatures only. No activated ability. Yup. All right. This is in fact a PowerPoint presentation of the things I think about after my casual commander night. Hey, you know what? You went infinite, buddy. You went infinite. Okay, we got one. Hold on. Potential. Nope. Damn. Nope. But we got one, though. So that's just a bad pull. We've still gone infinite. Nope. Land. Nope. No. But hold on. We've untapped her again. Land. Okay. No. Wait a goddamn moment. I mean, with this art, I'll give it to you. So now let me look at your tags. Drip to riz them. These are my medallions and my stones. Don't you like them? I do like the knight in shining armor reference. A little corny, but I like it. For the furries and the scalies. Oh, God. It would be worse if you weren't right. I'm down bad. Oh, that's a good anime art. Damn. I can't get over how non-functional this deck is. I can't get over the playtest proving mommy sorry. Just I had such a small ember of hope that the deck was gonna be more than pictures I'd jork it to, and I was proven wrong just so swiftly and so upsettingly because it was so possible for this to have been a build around. This is the down bad PowerPoint. We can't fetch any of these things. What the hell is this? Computer, enhance this. Okay. That's just a mask. Does it have floating trans vampire mom? Yes, but not with their hand on the thing. Will step on me. I just want to know, honestly, okay, so far more than this list, everything I've seen, you're right, okay? It's hard to have misses. They got these artists working night and day, drawing some absolutely fine people. But I want to point, like, what I want to focus on is not what's here, it's what's not here. Because do you know who I don't see? Pile Up got it. I don't see this. I don't see. Who said Karma? Don't say get Rog. Get out of here. I think much more telling than the cards that are in this 99 are the last 10 cuts. If we really want to expose Durge's soul, that is the deck list that I need. I don't need all 43 of these absolute yeses. I want to know when you started with a list of 100, who did you say bye to first? Because some of it is just going to be forgetfulness. Deck history, what? Oh, view history. All right. Interesting. Does somebody not like strong, crazy women? Does somebody not like dryads? I see Shadowheart was removed but came back in. I've done the exact same thing in my Baldur's Gate 3 playthroughs. Oh, you are crazy. You cut Minthara, you absolute fucking maniac. You cut Liesa? For this art of Sarah the oh my god. Wow, dude. I'll agree with Ashnod. Here's all the ads. It's not that art. Okay. Then we just have a million ads. So these are the only 4. So these are the 5. These are the 5 that we said no. Which, you're crazy. You're extra crazy. I'm with you. Listen, I've said this before. I have a heavy pixie cut anti-bias, and I'll stand by it. And you know, I get this one as well, only because there's a lot of aesthetic going on here. There's not a lot of Naomi's not trying to riz you. Naomi's trying to govern. That's her business. And she should stand on that. But that doesn't put her in the cardboard I'd jork it to list, unfortunately. Olivia with the knee is not in there, which is a little suspicious, Durge. A little suspicious that we have one vampire mommy in here, but not the Futa mommy. Very interesting. It's very strange of you. But hey, overall, I tried to make it one iteration of each card. You know, that's a fair way to do it. That's a fair way to do it. And with that in mind, how does... Oh God, what's her name? Yeah, how does this Olivia... I guess if you like the country aesthetic. Okay, Olivia is in the will step on you category. I was going to say that's... I do think it's a little wild that Queen Marchesa is not in the step on you section, but I realize, hey, tags are complicated. There's a lot. How many other outlaws are there even in here? Redco, if you're looking for a functional deck, you came to the wrong stream. If you are looking for a deck that could even fetch its various mommies with the commander ability that says tap to fetch mommies, you'd be wrong. You'd be dead wrong. Yeah, this is... God, what a fucking meme. Merkwolf, thank you for the follow and the prime sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. Yeah, weak UC, we tried it, and you could fetch a few. This is not horny on main, because this is more than just Durge's personal Mox field. This is horny on my main. This is bought a billboard to advertise my own Instagram likes. It's beautiful. I love the transparency in this statement, but this is a taking out a very small billboard ad for your Pornhub history. And more power to you, Durge. Although it's absolutely not a functional deck. We're going to move on to Sverti's spooky deck. Mono red burn, meant to take out at least a player as fast as possible, myself included. Any helps to speed it up or make it more consistent are appreciated. So the gimmick here is violence. I do love that gimmick. Auntie Blight, alright. So when we deal damage, when we hit ourselves, we get counters on her, and we can remove them to shoot somebody. So we probably want what I'm expecting to see from a moral, upstanding mono red burn player is symmetrical damage doublers. Probably Pyrohemia. Anything that says I will blow off my own dick if it gets a little bit into your eye. So let's see how close to that we got. Okay. Okay, yeah. Being able to target your player is good. Symmetrical. I think yeah, sure. Mono red's so hard up for card draw that, yeah, DRC makes sense. Not a single tag. Oh, no, we have some. All right, damage multipliers. Symmetrical. I like that. We have a couple that are opponents only, but you do. I think you've caught every symmetrical one, so you are standing on business with self-harm. Mask of Immolation. Oh yeah, do we not have Heartless Hitagetsu? That's crazy, bro. Listen, it may this may get you kicked out of your table real quick, but if we want Auntie Blight to get, if we want her to get moving, this is in fact how you get moving. That's how you get really moving. So let's see what burn creatures you have. Okay. So this is, I have a slightly different, I would update the tag for this. So instead of burn creatures, I would say mistakes. For the most part. Most of these are one-off. Stuffy Doll, you can keep your emotional support Furby. The rest of these gotta get the fuck up out of here. Burn spells. I mean, this is really just artifact removal. Blasphemous Act, sure. Target player. You need a lot of mana for that. Any target 2 to you. Opponent. Fiery Temper. God, Lava Spike. Someone really tried to play fucking mono red Pauper. Fucking Scred. Okay. I think we have... Well, one... Okay, Tribal Flames hits for 1 damage at all times. And you have... How do I say this without being a little too mean? Red has a couple of specialties. One of these specialties is pissing hard and fast on everybody. And that's where you want to be with Auntie Blight, because what Auntie Blight says is some own goals are okay. If as long as my piss velocity is high enough, I'm okay if a little bit gets on my pants too. And instead what you have is, as Chad has said, you have a like mono red spell slinger thing going on. You've gotten so obsessed with being able to control, with being able to go like, haha, this one's gonna hit me, haha, this one's gonna hit you, haha, this one's gonna hit Zachary. And you should just say, I'm going to set all of us on fire. I have emptied 3 oil cans somewhere inside this building, and I am going to drop a match. And you have all these mana boosters, presumably to try to fuel this, like, incredibly fair take on Auntie Blight. So Heartless Hitagetsu is going to be your best option. I think you're probably a little bit heavy on life gain prevention. And personally, I don't think you'll need life gain prevention as much once we fix your life loss generation. Someone's saying Fortune Thief. This could be useful. This could be useful after we get to a point where we are actually dealing some damage. So let's talk about things that will deal damage. Chibi Envy, they've got damage doublers already. So you want stuff like Flame Rift. Gigabyte, that's a good call out. Somebody else called out Flame Rift earlier. We want stuff that says, here's a bucket. I've collected it from the farm. I'm going to dump it on all of us instead of these little hits to people one at a time. And so other things that are going to say, I piss, you piss, we all piss down here, is Mana Barbs. This will let you, this will kill other people quickly and also give you precision control over, over how quickly you are ramping yourself. Zozu the Punisher as well from Joe Salsa. Yeah, like, you want shit like this where just everybody's taking damage, but you have a big flyer because you took damage. Now, this guy's a little expensive, which is frustrating. Ankh of Mishra. Redco, yeah. The other thing is if you're going to keep these like big these broad spells like Fiery Confluence that hit all creatures or Blasphemous Act, you do want to be on Repercussion, because that will then translate all of your targeted damage into controller damage as well. Citadel of Pain. Citadel of Pain would also be great. And then on top of that, you're going to add... Someone said Price of Progress. Oh, Mavanger, yeah, we're getting to Descent into Avernus. I think Price of Progress is kind of like this is like a tight meta call-out, and we are in a position where we do not care about tight meta call-outs. We care about descending. We care about descending into Avernus. I don't think we have Toralf in here because we're not dealing a lot of overkill damage. Mage Bane Lizard would be great. This is another way to slow other people down, and also get your money up. O'Hara Shonel is going to accelerate this into the fucking stratosphere because everything is going to be non-combat damage, which will become 4 damage. Hold on, let me check the rug on weak UC because I think this is life loss, which we don't care nearly as much about. Toralf burns out the table if you go Earthquake plus Repercussion, right? Correct, and I am also loath to include cards just because they're part of an A plus B plus C combo means I win. And I don't think Toralf is going to... Actually, I'm also not sold on O'Hara Shonil because we have so many doublers. I'm not 100% sold on Heat of Battle either. It could be great if you have a token player. Play this, make them hate you. Oh, acidic soil is hot as fuck. Acidic soil would be totally amazing. I think Aisling the Pilgrim would also be good. This would almost be like a backup commander if your commander gets killed a couple times. And so if we're talking about make somebody die immediately, you need the OG IED creator, Aisling the Pilgrim. So then after all those cards, you still want to dump a bunch of these, and you just want card draw. This deck looks like it gasses out like a bodybuilder who's running a marathon for fun. I cannot imagine a deck that is more primed to fold to one single board wipe. A Schaefer15, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. So we get Ferocidon. Let's Soul Film, right? And so we take 1, and we go up 1 on Anti-Blight. Mighty Roost, the rituals are in here because this is currently a goofy Spellslinger deck. And then we Pyretic Ritual to Fire Blast ourself for 4. Get some more counters on Blight. Swing her. Like the way this deck exists right now, it screams to me that the plan is use all of these to shoot ourself in the face and try to kill with Voltron commander damage, which is a strategy you can go for. I would heavily argue that you should instead be setting the building on fire without warning and attempting to lock the doors behind you. And the cards that are going to do that are cards like Aisling, Descent. Would Zada be any good? Thoughts on Power Overwhelming? You got to check the name. You got to check the name on that for me. Spellbreaker raises a good point. If you, I've been avoiding saying lifelink because take out at least a player as fast as possible, myself included, seems to say we're not too concerned about living. If you want to make this a deck that does a better job of winning, then you're also going to want stuff like Shadow Spear, something that's very powerful with your commander is the Toxic Spit Collar, because then when you tap, you can remove one counter and just shoot a problem creature. But overall, I think the makeover that you want to do is you want everyone to take damage as often as possible. You do not want to be on all of these single target, I hit you with a pipette drop of pee. You want to have smashed 8 liters of Mountain Dew before you got to the LGS, and nobody knows but you, and you're going home a winner. I don't care about winning, just killing the stacks players as fast as possible. Then yes, absolutely, Sverti. I think there's like 5 to 10 broad repeatable damage cards we suggested. I would add all of those, and I would go up to like 10 or 12 instances of either impulse draw or card draw. So that's stuff like Ren's Resolve, Cathartic Reunion that lets you discard to draw, You could use Bifrost if you're in an artifact meta, but for the most part, I would get those repeatable piss on everybody effects, and the card draw to make sure you get to them. I don't think you need as much life gain prevention. Probably just... I would keep Leyline, and I would keep I would keep Leyline, Ferocidon, Sulfuric Vortex, and I would cut the other two in favor of that stuff. I would also cut these mana boosters. I think these are only in here in a... well, you can keep Braid of Fire in case you have any instants. But the other ones seem like they're only in here because holy heck does the game plan as it currently exists cost $1 million. And we're going to get you a budget version in terms of mana that does the exact same thing. Redco, I don't think Expedited Inheritance will mill you out too much. And frankly, I think even if it did, that would fit with the theme of get at least one player out of the game. Because if you can mill yourself out before you can kill somebody, you deserve to get milled out, basically. Mavanger, you're still happening today. Sunspine Lynx would be okay, but you would want to go up to a lot of utility lands so that you could hit yourself with it. Oh, also the deck, in one word, was speed. I don't think it lives up to that right now. I think this lives up to Flash from Zootopia's idea of speed, but I do think we can move it into some real speed if you start pissing hard. We are going to move on to Doc Crab's silly deck, a Eula, but it's Proliferate. I stuffed all the Proliferate and mono green without poison on it in this deck. This is the first of 2 decks I'm submitting that aren't using the most popular commander for a color because there just wasn't a way I could twist Finn. I'm not sure what deck I started doing this with, but I put a $50 cap on the cards in this deck. So for those of you that aren't aware of this is part of Dr. Crab's ongoing personal quest to give me brain damage by not only playing every monocolor and every color combination off its own archetypes, but to prove to me that green can do what blue does, just better. Let's turn the tags on. Get a counter on a Eula and Proliferate instead of doing the logical and more efficient strategy of bears. I've included the Millennium Calendar and Helix Pinnacle out of pure hopium. There are 30 Commander legal cards in mono green that say Proliferate. All of them are in here. This is the energy I like. It hurts me to see, but I love the energy of there is a logical way to go about this. However, this sentence or approach makes the monkey in charge of the dopamine in my brain clap his cymbals together, and so I will be doing that instead. Maul, are the August deck signups going up anytime soon? Probably not, pursuant to the messages I've been posting about it both on Patreon and on Discord. The signups for August are going to be delayed, potentially indefinitely, depending on how the next week of my life goes. And I will update more when there is more to update with. So here's all the Proliferate. Boy howdy are these text boxes. The pipe dream is Helix Pinnacle. Yeah, surely we are getting here with a number of one-off proliferation things. I like that we have 4 pieces of removal to try to make it function as a deck. 8 pieces of card draw, including but not limited to a number of things that don't matter if our commander's not on the field. Endangered bears. Okay, this is how... So we just have to wait till turn 6, then we can play our commanders. Oh, but we get this off any bear. So how do we have... We have 6 bears in the deck. We have... The first line of the primer is get a +1/+1 counter onto a Eula. How much of the deck can get a +1/+1 counter onto a Eula? Fucking none of it. Why are you asking dumb questions? I added this because I liked the thought of a Eula in a chef hat. Oh, well this actually fixes the deck. Alright. So let's see if this works at all. Alright, we have a bear. So we need to hold this bear. We have to hold the bear back. Oh, a Eula would have been turn 2. So we can play Colossal Majesty. Boom, bear, boom, counter from the Eula trigger. And then we have the Ozolith. And now... Goreclaw. Fuck yeah. We put another counter onto a Eula. Llanowar Elves into Pipe Dream. These are tower counters specifically. Oh, but we get to draw a card. Next turn, we get to draw another card. Alright, it's turn 7. We're going to play a 5/5. Oh, it's 2 per. Yeah, so we are up to 4. That is much better. So probably instead of the dumbass 5/5, let's draw 6 cards. Yeah, that feels better. Fuck Arcane Lighthouse, we ain't no bitch. Fuck removal, we ain't no bitch. So we proliferate. We go up to 5. We E-Sage. We'll pretend I'm not stupid and I evolution saged. So we're up to 8. It's turn 8. I have an 11/11 commander with no trample, no evasion, no nothing. This is probably fine. Okay, Ozolith moment. Werebear. We get to put 3 on now. Bloom Hulk. We get to put 2 on now. Oh, Goreclaw's giving us trample. Okay. I mean, so now it's like just pray that nobody has removal and we kill somebody with damage. Do we have any bears? No, but we can put a counter on a Eula. Good enough. We're getting a forest. Master Chef. Fucking job done, everybody. Eula's coming in with a counter. Then we're going to play Canker Bloom. And, I guess, fucking, do that. Fucking 5/5 on turn 4, and that's the best we can do. Cosmic Muffin, Chuck Furious, Schaefer, thank you for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Crab, you are stretching the limits of credibility. You are, I think this is, this can be a functional Magic deck in the same way a 2016 Kia Soul can be a street race car. It's, I mean, Baby. Huh? Someone on chat asked me to wave at you.
Oh, hello.
They're playing League of Legends. I've infected them fully. Are you in practice tool right now? They are theory crafting new builds for their new favorite champion in League of Legends right now, you guys. We've done it. Spellbreaker, just wait. I'm gonna get you too. I'm gonna fix every last one of you. Boo! We'll see, Lalo. We'll see how long it takes you to download LeagueOfLegends.exe. It's not Teemo Top Sample Hand. They are playing Briar and Belveth Jungle. They are a jungle one trick. Please, no more League. Tetroons, I don't play League with viewers right now. I'm still working on content to do for League. Joe Salsa, the official update is that it's happening with Pleasant Kenobi, and we're still working out a format to do it in that is hopefully more interesting than me when I react to other Warhammer videos. Ian Gordon, League is an incredibly frustrating game, but it can be very fun. The short version is that League is Mario Party. You should never play it with less than 3 people, and I would caution anybody against playing it with fewer than 4 people. Like, think about when people give League a bad rap, I want you to imagine how you would view the mental stability of someone who looked at you with a straight face and said, yes, yesterday I spent 5 hours playing Mario Party by myself, practicing my timings on the Hammer Thwomp game. Do you think... How would you feel about about that person's emotional stability? Because that's how I feel about anybody who plays solo queue. Or even duo queue. Pika Puff, thank you for the 8 months in a row at Tier 1. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. I just joined. What are you fixing about every last one of you? I'm going to make you all play League of Legends. I'm going to make every last one of you. Bro, you can't just describe my Tuesday nights like that. I'm sorry, Nightsea. I know you told me that in confidence. But anyway, Crab, I don't think the pipe dream is here. I think the pipe dream is the rest of this deck. Oh yeah, the one word vibe for this deck is incorrect. And that is the most accurate description I've heard all night long. Crab, never change. Never change, Crab. Shadow Walker, I will back it up. I mean, this is an art piece, but this is like a Banksy original. This deck exists in defiance of God, and Crab, the only note I'm going to give you, don't change a single card in this deck. The only note I'm going to give you is that when you play this deck, you should socially play it in the exact same style as that one comedian who pretended to not know who Jeffrey Epstein was. Every time you play a Proliferate card instead of a bear, you should just hit him with the New York Financier. What do you mean play another bear? What do you mean play doubling season? Proliferate is the best possible thing. Oh, do you people not know this? Okay, hold on. This is going to be the hardest thing in my life to Google accurately. It wasn't a Fallon bit. It was a Conan bit. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear this, but this is required reading. Go watch that shit. That's how you play the deck. Calamity probably. I am moving too slow because I keep getting sidetracked to vamp and I am incredibly sleepy. So let's kick it up a notch and move on to Jacob Goodwin's silly and spooky deck. Ideal win condition is playing a bunch of creatures, many of whom make tokens, and gaining so much life that I can kill everyone with Aetherflux. Secondarily, the deck can swing wide and big with angels that have been juiced to the gills and their token friends. A couple of auto wins for safe measure. The deck fails if I can't move fast enough, so any help drawing cards or making tokens faster would be appreciated. So first things first. Safe measures are for cowards and the Dutch. And that is not who we are. And Jacob, if that is how you are, is part of your heritage, I will be racist to a different group of people to make it no longer your heritage. Tristani populates, gains life, and has a bomb. Alright, so Selesnya, populate. Not Dutch. Perfect. Then safe measures are for cowards and the Dutch. Dr. Crab, please give me the Urza deck next. So it seems like let's look at tags. I win, you lose. The bomb. Tokens. Oh, so we are on, this is big butts and I cannot lie. Pika Pup, that makes me feel bad for you, Goat. And for everyone who knows you. Yeah, so we want the stuff with the biggest fucking toughness imaginable, and then we can populate tokens. Angelica Chord, that's... Oh, I was gonna say that seems like a high bar, but never mind. You gain life every time something ETBs. Make a 1/1 white soldier with lifelink, gain 2. Make a bunch. Double trigger. Okay. Oh, this shit is brutally fair, my friend. Alright, so I am all for tying a hand behind your back in order to stunt on other people. I think this deck is tying one hand, or both hands, one leg, and somehow its own nose and stuffing it inside its asshole in order to keep things nice and fair. From a perspective of pulling off the primary gimmick, I think the token thing is secondary. What stands out to me as what we need tokens for is we want individual big butt tokens. And so Amara seems kind of like a miss for that. Galagreeters, the life gain seems okay, but 2 life doesn't seem like a lot. Griffin Airy also, because it's on end step, it doesn't seem self-perpetuating, and that seems... Like, if you get Griffin Airy, right? You get Griffin Airy out, you can use the populate. You can spend 3 mana to gain 2 life every turn, which does not hit Griffin Airy again. Bebop, thank you for the kind words, my friend. Jewel Thief. Jewel Thief's... I think you get something cooking if you can make Jewel Thief into a token. My love. Could you bring me some coffee? Because I'm about to keel over and die. So all of the things that are gonna make you tokens with meaningful butts, the bar for execution is way too high. And so this is what's that? It's the fucking 4/4 maker that people have been suggesting all stream. It's not Crested Sunmare, but I'll look at that. Huh! It is Crested Sunmare. Holy fuck. Yeah, so this is your guy right now. I realize it's not particularly fast, but this is the fucking...
Live, my child.
Thank you, baby. Dawnbringer's not what I'm looking for. It's an enchantment that gets a counter if you get through somebody's turn without losing life. And once you have 4 counters, Luminarch Ascension. Yes, thank you. So this is 2 mana. Like, you have a big butt commander. So as soon as your commander's down, you have a decent blocker. This is 2 mana to then spend 2 mana to make a 4/4. Compared to everything else, like Luminarch Ascension could clear the way for Angelic Accord. But like Imara is not gaining you a huge amount of life. Gallic Greeters probably isn't gaining you a huge amount of life. But it could work just because it's multimodal. I think March of the Multitudes, like I think these X spells are traps. And then we want just like the biggest tokens. Adipose Offering would be a pretty good token maker with that emerge. Grove of the Guardian is a land that makes 8/8s. Well, okay, this is a land you can sacrifice to make 1 8/8. I don't think we're that hard up for 8 mana. Pika Puff raises the very good point that anything with Myriad is hot as hell. So that means Battle Angels of Tyr. Battle Angels of Tyr need to get in the fucking pit. Verdant Suns should probably get in the fucking pit, but they're going to be the top end of your curve. Yes, there's a lot of ramp, which we are probably going to need. Yeah, we can get some crack in here. We can put some crack in here. So I think Legion's Loyalty and Verdant Sun's Avatar are the 2 expensive spells we're going to have you put in. I'm not super up on charge through, but I do know that green-white is so bad at drawing cards. All caps from Spellbreaker, look up Concave Evangelist. Holy shit. Alright, so never mind. Your deck is now ramp into only 5 mana and above cards. Fubar Jackson, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Steroids for Angels. I think we are probably... Winged Mommies work too. Yeah, Scion of Calamity wouldn't be bad. Legitimately, anything big with Myriad is going to be a better token maker than... So your worst token makers, I think, are Imara, Galagreeters, Griffin Airy, March of the Multitudes, Martial Coup, Sanctuary Warden, yeah. Those I would say... Martial Coup is there for the board wipe. That is fair. You can keep Martial Coup just as a board wipe. The rest of those, I would say, too conditional for what we're trying to do. Like March of the Multitudes, every time Scion of Calamity is just gonna, or the Conclave Evangelist is just gonna win out in terms of things we want to play. In terms of card draw, let's see. Who's that Brax motherfucker? I think this guy you can kind of get away with. In the same vein of Benny Brax, I think you can get away with Isle of Oblivion. And in the direction that we are now going, I think things like Colossal Majesty, or Elemental Bond, or Garruk's Anything become a little bit more tenable. Holy shit. This thing is insane. Yeah, someone was calling this out for the entire time. This is also sick as hell. Would immediately begin repaying itself. Want to see how fast I can count to 151. Yeah, so I think a lot of these... I think a lot of your non-commander count by one stuff can go away. Like, I think Camaraderie can go... I think Daxos can probably go. Like, I think we would just rather have... Acceleration or one of these really big hitters. Fracturing Gust makes sense just as a wipe. I think Impassioned Orator can go. Pledge of Unity is a maybe. I think this is on the bubble for me. Oketra goes off in here. Oketra does go off in here. All right, so Jacob, my apologies, as it's an archetype I'm not familiar with. I've given you enough cards for oops all bombs. So a little bit of homework will need to be done since I am suggesting such a big makeover of this deck. I think right now this deck is, quite ironically, despite the fact that it's named around having this big bomb, I think this deck has gotten lost in the nitty-gritty of min-maxing its gain 1, gain 1, gain 2, make a 2-2, make a 1-1, make a 1-1, fuck you. And we should just be playing a Myriad Dinosaur with God Eternal Oketra on the field after you proxy it. So to add to the list of bombs that you should have, I'm not sure about Nesting Dovehawk. It's good, but it is, again, very conditional. Joe Salsa is, I think, having a heart attack, asking me to do this. Holy God. Yet another bomb. Yet another bomb. Yeah, this is hot as hell. So I like the energy, and the vibe I would like to sell you is bombs make bombs. And then I think that in turn solves your card draw because it enables you to lean on green's inherent ability to draw cards when they can punch them out of you. I think in the steroids for angels section, I think as someone else mentioned, the one-off enchantments you probably don't want. So like Armadillo Cloak, for the family, Fortifying Draught, and then Light of Promise you can probably get away with. But Sunbond, no, God, these are really good. These both are really good. Armadillo Cloak, Camaraderie, and for the family, and Fortifying Draught. These four, I would say, either other bombs or anthems. Yeah, don't play Cathar's Crusade, Kiva. In the same sentence, you got it. Do not play Cathar's Crusade unless you both, one, don't wish to be invited back, and two, wish to die under the onus of math. I will say this is very fair. So the adjustments we're giving it will make it less fair, but it is fair because it is two decks trying to run a three-legged race together. And I believe that I am suggesting a more streamlined version, and so it's naturally going to feel less fair because it's a little more focused, but this deck as it stands is an unfair deck, but you took away its ADHD medication and it saw some Sky Ladies and really liked them and got distracted by that. And that's what's making it fair. And so I think we can also work on making it fair from a perspective of still fair, has a gimmick, does the gimmick reliably. Set D, thank you for coming by the stream. I am very happy to have you here. We are doing deck roasting right now, and we are now moving to Mavander's deck, who inspired the stream title. So we were able to look at this for a short while before my internet gave out under the sheer force of how bad this deck is last week. Bookworm. It is a deck that is all books or all library related, and we are desperately trying to figure out a way to make it win. So we are going to jump straight into how do we tome on these people. So Mavander, as they say in chat right now, currently unplayable. We're going to try to fix that. Datman Sam, thank you for the kind words. We are going to take a 1-minute bathroom break, and then I'll be right back. Nobody sell my chair while I'm gone. Bean, thank you. Thank you for defending the NFT nature of my chair, apparently. So I think we're looking for like O tags. Or art tag. How do I don't know the... Joker Roo, thank you for the drink water redeem. I appreciate you looking out for my health. Look, if we're dumping 500 on a CEDH deck, we can get a nice chair. God bless you for only dumping 500 into a CEDH deck. Zlaux, thank you for the tier 1 sub for 8 months in a row, my friend. Welcome back to the dog home. You have to write art tag. Joe Salsa, I swear to God, it's my chair. Art, all right. 15th try is the... You guys? Help me out here. Okay. Important lore about this deck. I have no idea how to use Scryfall. This was done by manually combing through Gatherer for any and all synonyms of book. This is some... Mavanger is straight out of Plato's cave. Mavanger woke up from the fucking ice 2 years ago, learned what Magic the Gathering was, made this accursed deck, and then sent it in. Alright. So this guy's got some scrolls. I'm not letting you play Karn. This guy's in a library. Lupin Knights, this is someone else's Cody deck that they want it to be a full library deck. We want it to be a full library deck, and we're trying to figure out a way to make it playable. Okay, Ancient Craving has books. Arcane Encyclopedia, which you might have already. Yeah, you have that already. I think we hit Animate Library last week. We were able to lock that down a week ago. Okay, Baron's Codex may be playable first, or maybe playable. Okay, holy hell. We might have a playable creature. I think this is as close to an on-theme creature as we're getting, but we might have one. Blade Historian. Please tell me this little asshole wasn't already in there. This link will give Commander legal cards. Shadow Walker, God bless you. So I think Blade Historian is also possible because Double Strike good. Walking Archive. I mean, okay, so Suspicious Bookcase. I think this could be... Right now, my best chance is the Orcish Librarian Self-Mill Plan. They got that already? Okay. Okay, Bookworm. Bookworm, yeah. Listen, I think you get Bookworm, you get Blade Historian. Oh my god, we have actual interaction. Suggesting Almros again. Josh Green, can you name check it for me? We just looked at Bookworm Crispcast. Otherworldly Atlas. Ormos is already in there. Huh? Alright. Logbook's already in there. Okay, we could Curse of Fuel's Wisdom. Oh yeah, the Biblioplex land is going to be perfect for you. Plum for... Hey, there we go. It's a book. Look at that, you guys. We fucking got him. We fucking got him. Okay, this guy... Nope, that's very bad. Yeah, Mavanger, that's the type of advice I'm really here to give, is you just need to buy an original demonic tutor, and then your funny deck is playable. Right now I'm really looking for... Right now, so like Frantic Search would be good for card draw. Right now I am looking for playable creatures that might conceivably win a game of Magic the Gathering. Like, that's what I'm trying to get down to. I'm trying to get to what could we play, not worrying about card draw and engines and all that junk right now, just what could we play that may one day reduce somebody else's life total to 0. Words of Wilding. Okay, how do we feel about this story time? How do we feel about the book of all the bears that ate your ass, Mavanger? How do we feel about the book? Excellent! The book of bears that ate the asses. It's going in the deck. And then there was another one, Book of Exalted Deeds. I would be surprised if that wasn't already in the deck. Oh, huh. Book of Exalted Deeds isn't in the deck. Oh, you do have it. Okay. Oh, we don't really have... You don't really have life gain, though. I think this is a trap because I don't think we have other book-based sources of life gain. All right, so back on engines. How do we feel about a guy with a book? How do we feel about a man with a book? Right? The card, he's bound to the book. Tell me how we feel about Bookman, and I'm going to keep he dirty. Shut up, Edna. That's my goat right there. You don't say a goddamn word. I'll allow it. Beautiful. Okay, cards that can win at Magic the Gathering. Cards that can win at Magic the Gathering. I don't think Mirko is gonna work. You need to. It's too much of a like build around thing. Ashes and Leaves, I will likely check that out another time. Wait, Mavanger says. What's up, Goat? What's happening? Does Moira made the guide when she goes in? Are you having a stroke? Like, oh, Moira. Okay, hold on. Yes, she does. She makes a book. Okay, here's something we could win with this. This is damage on board. Yeah, we could also do Venser. Nope. Oh, I just spelled wrong. So there's that for life gain. I still don't think that makes Book of Exalted Deeds work because we can't seek it with our commander. And like we're trying to make the deck more functional, not these two specific cards. Almond, I think they already have Orcish Librarian. Oh, this is a book elemental. Listen, if there was ever a thing your playgroup was gonna let you put in, you gotta beg them. You gotta beg them, Evander. You have to get down on your knees and convince them to let you play the dumbass elemental. That and Animate Library are going to be baked for Rule 0. Okay, I'm with you. Alright, so for timing needs, we are going to have to move on from here, but I think we've got like 10 plus cards that will work for this, and the rest of your homework is taking this tag right here that I'm going to copy paste into Twitch. We've taken you off the ice. We are now going to introduce you to the internet. Scryfall is a boon for this type of dumb shit. I love the bit. And what I love even more is the mental image of you at like 1 a.m., head in your hands, trying to find a 41st card that was just a literal book and using thesaurus.com to punch stuff into Gatherer. Like the idea that you're just like, fuck man, I got Tome, I got Atlas, I got book, I got journal, there's nothing. What do I? Grimoire! And just like that being how this deck was made brings me so much fucking joy. And so now we've taught you how to use Scryfall, and I wish you the best with it. We're going to move on to Evil Edna's spooky deck. I think it's good. It's optimized, but I want your input. The deck in one word is CEDH-ish. So this may fall into bag of combos. Come here, princess. What are you doing? Yeah, come here. Look at this little so-and-so. Yeah, who's a little whatchamacallit? Who is a little whatchamacallit? Yeah. Do you need attention? Yeah, do you need a little attention? Could I not giving you attention? Yeah. Who's a good kitty? You can stay here if you want. All right. Bladner, they're allowing scrolls. Punchy Mushu, Jund, but more fastlier. I have a very competitive pod I play with. Most games are trying to be over by turn 5 or 6. Originally, when I built the deck, it was food tokens to be more group hug fun, but now after being mogged hundreds of times, the deck has morphed into trying to get a turn 2 or 3 Corval on the field and punch face. Okay, so you are in a transitional period that some people would call the villain era that I don't necessarily agree with. I'm going to call it your hater era, and we're not going to worry about making you a deck I actually like right now. There's a time for that, and that time is after you have seen the mountaintop of what the powerful cards do, and you become disillusioned with them. You are in the phase where you've felt joy, and that threatened your friends, and so they took joy away from you. This is, that's them killing your food deck over and over. So now we need to get you to the mountaintop so that you can grow bored with the mountaintop and yearn for the days of food-based gaming and bring your pod with you. Now, the mountaintop for Corval is generally turbo Landsack bullshit, which would see, yeah, holy shit, you are well on your way. Maybe this is a villain era. maybe I fucked up. Vigor, bro? What the fuck? Spore? Oh, no, you can sack it. Sure. Yeah. Sure, you can sack it. Whatever. Okay. Bro, who hurt you? What did the mill player... Show me how many games the mill player touched you in. Alright, so we've got a ton of removal. You are fucking memeing. Seething Song? Where's my Jeweled Lotus? We can't be fucking talking about Seething Song and not talking about Jeweled Lotus. So there's definitely a blue player. It's Revel in Riches. So most of our ways to... It looks like we're either killing people with commander damage or we're winning with Revel in Riches. I think that's probably your worst... that's probably the worst part of this deck, is that you have grown... And this is what happens to everybody on their hater arc, is they get outvalued... they get outvalued, and then they become obsessed with making as much value as possible instead of what you do want to be obsessed with, which is murder most foul. And so, like, turn 1, we get all this junk out. We're on 4 mana, so we'll cultivate... and let's say we get a... Yeah, we need a forest. My brother in Christ, where are your mountains? There we go. Okay. So we'll take the forest to field. We'll play the mountain as our second land for turn. We've tapped a bunch of shit, so who cares? So Corval, pitch, draw, counter. Lamb has had enough. What's up, my friend? Thank you for coming by. And Sam Cop, hello. And then we can like Provisioner, Marsh, make treasures, and then the treasures kind of go crazy. Next turn we can regrowth. We don't have anything in our graveyard we care about. So let's say we play a swamp, make a treasure, crack the treasure for a mana. We get Entomb. We look for Dockside. We get Dockside back. We play Dockside. We have a ton of treasures. So let's say out of all of that, we get 9 treasures. I sack all of them. I get... I probably play... I don't want to play Revel because I can't win with it immediately. But there's some combination of... We do Revel and Riches. Yeah, I think what's diluting us right now is we have a couple trauma responses and we have a couple things that are just like mega win more. So what things are fully win more? I think Forsaken Miner, like I think you have a little bit too much, oh, I'm going to sacrifice these creatures, and not enough, oh, I'm going to sacrifice these lands. Like you're even down with, you even want like new Capenna fetches. Like some of the best things to sack in Corval are these things, like you have Prismatic Vista, you have Fabled Passage, you have Verdant Catacombs. You want all of the fetches, and then you want all of the new Capenna fetches, even though they're slow because they're drawing you cards. And truly, what are these bitches doing? What are these bitches doing? I'm sorry I even looked. These people suck. Innkeeper's Talent. I don't think Corval does love this. I think it's too much mana for not as much payoff. That deck was titled Bad Corval. Oh. So I think we need... I'm not sold on Vigor. So like, let me pull out the things that feel like they don't work in our opening hand. Yeah, this is a much better opening hand. And we just delete these from the fucking game. We just delete these straight from the game. And then we don't have lands. Why do you have a fucking... I guess you can sacrifice it. Once again, we don't care about this guy. This is really just here for Dockside, huh? So we can play this. Next turn, we can play this. We can't get to our commander, so we'll just play this like a good boy. We can't play this. God, this 29 land shit is also crazy. We can't be this afraid of mill players, quite frankly. So I did go over this a little bit when I was after I had roasted Corvold, where I think there's 3 different paths you can, or 2 different main paths you can build for Corvold, which is aristocrat or turbo dog shit, and you are kind of stuck in between the 2. You have some of these like very big value pieces that are, I'll say, highly aspirational of you. And then you have these like creature sack pieces, and you have Mayhem Devil, but Mayhem Devil's probably not getting anything done in the long run. And you have multiple pieces to get lands back and play multiple lands, and then you're running on 29 lands. You're not running Jeweled Lotus. I'm going to presume you've been hurt so many times that you can't take it anymore. But overall, I don't see where this deck wins other than Revel in Riches, and that's typically where you need to start when you're going with a commander deck, particularly a commander deck that you want to be good. This looks like you walked into the EDHREX store and said, "Give me one of everything." Most of this feels very all over the place in terms of board control. Like, playing Exploration in a 29 land deck is some of the most crackhead shit I have ever heard of. What else are you doing? Do you have like a $10,000 premium membership to Jamba Juice that gives you 50% cash back on every visit, and the nearest Jamba Juice is 300 miles away? Because that is what I am feeling when it comes to Exploration. Crisp Cast also, that's an okay point. Endurance is great in hand as anti-mill, but if Endurance gets milled, you kind of just sit on your ass. Great Train Heist is like, I think the fact that these treasures are tapped is what's killing you here. Overall, this deck only has a very vague idea of how it's going to win, and it looks like most signs point towards Voltron Corvold, and Voltron is always going to be weak. It's tough. There's too many ways to kill people, right? Can you imagine if the US Army said, we're going to win our next war by sending out this one guy, but he's going to have all of our Kevlar? They would just fucking turn him into paste. And that's what happens when you try to bring a Voltron deck into Commander. So if you want to make the Corvold list good, I would recommend either some type of repeatable loop, or if you are going, like, if you're going to do poison tip archer shit, you need a repeatable recursion loop that does not cost as much as reassembling skeleton. You want your land count to go up and include way more sackable lands. And I would very strongly suggest leaning into like Rakdos Artifact Aristocrat. Sylvan Safekeeper, Redco, that's a very good call out. Both lets you trigger Corvold and gives you sack triggers. But there's stuff like if you really want to go heavy on treasures, you need stuff like Disciple of the Vault and Reckless Fireweaver. You don't have to go heavy on treasures. No matter what, You could look for a loop, or at least like repeatable stuff to do with all we won. This is probably too slow at 5 mana, but you need more things that will translate directly to the table takes damage. Right now, this kind of looks like... right now, this looks a lot like, boy howdy, these are all cards that are vaguely good with Corval, but before we can begin making cuts for them, you need to decide how you want to win. Do you want to have a proper combo, or do you want to deal consistent damage to somebody turn over turn using the aristocrat effect? And once you make that decision, then we can take these like 5 decks that are squirming all over each other like Taco Bell dumpster worms and separate them and give them Trenbolone and make them truly scary. Some other good suggestions from Gigabyte is Zurin Orb, and then Kiva with Agent of the Iron Throne. Redco, I did mention Fireweaver already. Agent could do it if you want to go aristocrat themes. You should just be aware that the Voltron theme is weaker, right? The stronger version is draw cards, and Mr. President and Shadow Walker both bring up Marionette Apprentice, is draw cards, make treasures, sack treasures. Because I'm poor, you die. You're like a U.S. congressman. Because you are losing profitability, the rest of them have to die. And that's how you save the deck. So now we're going to move on to Bad Cass's spooky and scary deck. Force opponents to either lose their creatures or lose their life, preferably both. The deck in one word is fear. I'm presuming this is Mogus. London Alley Simulator. I am going to stab you several times in the kidneys. I'm so wrong. 40 lands. All right, you need to meet up with the Corval player, and the two of you need to just do a little like kiss and average out these land counts. So Gorm the Great must be blocked, and by 2 or more creatures if able. When they deal combat damage, they lose half their life. Holy fuck. Okay. I hate that. So this guy sucks at fighting but has a huge ass. This guy just sucks at fighting but will give you tuberculosis. Oh, that's... Truly, getting hit with this guy in combat and then getting hit with this in main phase 2, I would give up on our friendship. This is just mean. Well, no, okay, you're trying to make people give up creatures. So we're in... Alright, this is just fucking mean. So we have a ton of ramp. Other combat damage triggers. You are going straight to hell, Badcast. This is... Every card in here is meant to make the blue player that doesn't have chump blockers go, oh! Jesus Christ. So Gorm isn't even in here to draw aggro for Virtus. Gorm is just in here to fill the graveyard for us to fucking rob them. And then we have Tireless Tracker because landfall is good and green. Oh, sudden spoiling is so mean. Who fucking hurt you? This is absolutely a... So this is someone who has completed the loop. They've gone through their hater arc. They tried to return to a silly funny deck, but the things they had seen changed them too much, and now their idea of silly and funny is locking you in a room, locking you in the storage closet of a Toys R Us while they beat you to death with the toy trucks you picked out. Cave Ferret, thank you for the Prime. I appreciate those Bezos bucks, and I'm sorry you've joined us in such a trying time. Okay, we have Wound Reflection. The funniest thing about this deck to me is that it completely fails to win the game unless we get one of these doublers, because the best thing it can do otherwise is Virtus you for half your life and then make you feel stupid. We've got discard and sack, and we've got a little bit of theft. We do not have like enough theft to be like, haha, I'm going to kill you with your creatures. We have enough theft to say, I hope you didn't want that motherfucker back. We do need Bloodletter of Aclazotz, Crisp Cask. Bread Theory, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. So we have a ton of hate. I'm a little... I think the 40 lands is weird. We're not doing... We're certainly not doing landfall. The closest... Well, we have one landfall card. We don't really have things that are letting us play multiple lands in a turn. We don't have a single goddamn way to draw cards. This is 100%... I'm locking you in the storage closet of my local Toys R Us. So we will... I guess we'll keep this. I really don't want to use Dig Up this early. So... Actually, no, fuck that. Oh, no, we do need to do that. So Rampant Growth. Sure, Forest... Exotic Orchard. So we will Gorm Swifties. Lightning Greaves. Virtus. Greaves, they both swing, and then we Gorm and Virtus all over them. And now we can... So we can dig up for anything. And the tutor makes this work because we're going to tutor one of our life loss doublers, and then we just win. So this, we probably Soul Ring, we Tracker, make a clue... Make a clue. Yeah, we definitely need this OG duel. We definitely need this Toski too. I mean, I think we just Toski and swing both of these assholes in, and then we pretend like we draw one. Well, alright, I guess if God loves you this much, then all of my criticisms are meaningless. The deck, you know what? If you will, in fact, just have the life loss doubler every time, deck's perfect, my fault. My fucking fault, G. Don't worry about me. You got it. You got it. God damn it. Okay, so... This is hateful. I don't even think this is fear. I think this is only fear to people that already know you well. And I think fear is too subtle of an emotion to describe the terror that must run through their veins when you reply, yeah, to the group chat text asking who's coming to casual commander night. I think what the deck could use that would perhaps inspire fear better is, instead of a couple of these lands, in terms of bombs, instead of a couple of these lands, instead of this very basic theft, instead of the very basic theft, and instead of the life gain, because gaining life is for cowards, I would argue very heavily for some mass reanimation. You have a ton of pseudo board control in terms of making nobody's going to have cards, nobody's going to have permanents that they love and they watch grow up and they listen to their dreams. Those are dead. Those are all dead because of you. And the least you could do is let them live again on your board. And what that will also do for you is give you a way to close out the game that does not involve drawing or tutoring one of these doublers. Because the rest of your deck simply does not do damage. You just don't do damage. And if you want to lock people in a room and noodle them to death, a therapist, a court-mandated therapist, will be at your location very soon. But what I personally think you need desperately is some large-scale theft. You don't need little theft like Sepulchral. You want to take everything. You want to take everything. I also think you do want some card draw, and in the vein of Golgari, you want card draw that's going to fill your own graveyard for this Rise of the Dark Realm shit. So you're going to have the best card draw spell in Golgari, which is black. And then you're going to look for basically anything like this. Grisly Salvage will do it for you. This won't fill your graveyard, but it is just a good check spell, especially since you do want to ramp. But I would go down to like 35 or 36 lands. I would I think you got to make some choices about these memes. And by memes, I mean like Fraying Omnipotence is mostly here to be no, you do want other stacking half effects in case you draw one of these doublers. I think right now you're a little value crazy. Durad's Orders would be a pretty decent fair tutor. Ebon Reaper. We certainly don't want Ebon Reaper because this deck is just begging to get punched in the mouth. And I think Ebon Blade Reaper it leaves us too exposed for a deck that right now is probably too weak. Like, this deck is not particularly active. It is just good at making the other players equally inactive. And I don't think that's a wonderful place for us to be in. We stole something. Cool. But yeah, like right now the best thing we're doing is we're Liliana-ing and then -4ing, sacking these two guys, drawing 2. Then we uptick and make some zombies, and then we Rotting Dead. But we're not like we don't have an active goal we are working towards other than stabbing you several times in the kidneys, and that's a beautiful goal, this deck doesn't do it that well. This is asymptotes the deck. Mr. President is calling out for Gisa Glorious Resurrector. This would be good. This would be better theft than the other theft that we have. I like Dolmen Gate. That's smart. Smart boy, or girl, or person. Who cares? So I would cut like 5 lands. I would cut... No, you can keep Okham. I don't think you'll need as much ramp after you make these changes, because I don't think the deck will be as reliant on having Gorm and Virtus out all the fucking time. I think you just work towards make people lose their creatures, use Virtus to get them low, and then use like Living Death and Rise of the Dark Realms to bomb them with their own stuff. That is my personal creative vision for how this deck should go. If you have a different idea, then we can pursue that. But based on the primer of force opponents to lose creatures or life, preferably both, that's a good engine, and this is how we get to an end state of that. Like, this is how we go from an old man who is simply rubbing his hands together like a fly and being mean to children to a Saw villain. We need to get you funding. We need to get you actionable victims. We need to get you contraptions. You are lacking in large-scale machinations to take this from moderately rude to truly horrible. Why not Ghoul Caller Gisa, says Meditating Raven. It's possible. Personally, I don't find it as funny as beating people to death with their own stuff. But this would also be yet another upshot effect. This card is mean as fuck. Holy God. Holy God, this is awful. I'm putting it in every black deck I have, and you got to put it in this one. This is going to... I just hate that it doesn't do anything to the token player. I get killed every time I play it. You deserve it. But thank you for showing this to me. Alright, Calamity, we're going to keep your stream as scheduled for Friday, because my eyeballs are going to fall out of my head. That is going to be... Oh, wait, we didn't do Lemon. So we'll do... We're going to do Lemon on Friday as well, because of the aforementioned... We're already over time limit for today's stream. So that's going to be it for today. I will be live again Friday with a little more deck roasting and viewer games on Brawl, because we only have a couple decks for that day. Thank you all very much for the follows, for subscribing, for supporting me. I appreciate it so much. I hope you're having an okay week, and remember to stay toxic.